Hello, and welcome to another edition of Delta Media Group's Tech Tuesday. As you can see, I have Aaron with me yet again for another week of our Growing Your Brand video series so that you can see not just how to use the stuff in the DeltaNet, but why you should use the stuff in the DeltaNet and what it can do for you. So, say hi, Aaron.
Hello. Good to be back from your hiatus.
Yeah, no, we had a 2-week hiatus here because I was off living the good life in a cabin out in the middle of the woods, if anybody was interested. And I know some of you are very interested in what I do when I'm not here. So, in any case, today we're going to go over site content and the kinds of things that you should put on your site, and not just your site as in just your home page or even just custom pages on your site, but what you should do in terms of like blog content, social media content, things like that. So this isn't just about how to put the content on your website, but it's about helping you figure out what that content should be in order to, get the most out of it. So, to start off, I'm just going to run into the DeltaNet, and here we are on our welcome page to start off with. And what we'll do here is I'm just going to give you a look at the WYSIWYG editor. Now, we've gone over this before, but we're going to take another look because it pertains to this whole thing. So real quick. Now, I went to the website and then overviews page. This just gets us to the editor for our home page. And this editor is the same for just about anything you do in the DeltaNet. The blog platform, email, all of that stuff uses this same kind of WYSIWYG editor. So they all work about the same way. So on this overviews page, if I just type in home, it'll filter this section down to just my home page and also my home phone number. But this is where I can edit the content for my home page. Now, to give you an idea here, so this is my home page for this demo account, and if I scroll down, this is where that home page content goes. So if I want to modify my home page content, I'll take a look at my WYSIWYG editor here. It works like most word processors work. If you've used Microsoft Word, anything like that, it works about the same way. And what I'll do in this case is I'll just add a video in here. So if I want to add a video, this is my video. We're going to go up to Insert, down to Media, and this is where we need to paste our video URL. So I should probably get a video URL, right? Look at that. I already had YouTube open and everything. It's almost as if I was prepared. So here's our video, and the easiest way to do this is I'm just going to click on the Share button down here. Here is our Share URL, so I'm going to click on that, and you can copy this in one of 100 different ways. In this case, I'll just right-click on it, click on Copy. Or you can hit Control-C or Command-C on a Mac, whatever you need. And then we'll switch back into our DeltaNet here. Paste it. It automatically fills in the dimensions. Hit OK. And there's our video. So that'll be embedded right on our home page. You can do this on any custom pages or any blog articles you create as well. Just the only thing I would be careful with, of a technical standpoint on these, is when you're adding it to a blog article, you'll want to keep in mind that you want to keep the width down because you only have so much room there. If you go over that, the page starts to look goofy. Now I'll hit Update Paragraph. And we'll take another look at our home page here. If I can just click on Calculators, there we go. Where's our video? We can't have that. There's our video.
All right.
See? So all I did there was I actually reset my browser session to make it come up, and I know I'm getting a little technical for you, but it's a means to an end. Whenever you're in the DeltaNet, if you click this button, instead of just going to your home page and refreshing it, that'll refresh your browser session so that it will load up any kind of changes you made in the DeltaNet. So if you don't see the change by refreshing your page, click this button, that'll usually make it come up. So look at that. All right, so that gives you an idea of how you can go about creating content, and keep in mind that, like I said, this content is stuff that will apply to anything that you create and anything you put out there to make available to your customers. So Aaron's going to give you some details about exactly what kind of content you should create and give you an idea of how to go forward with it. So,
fantastic. So, content marketing is a big term that is thrown out in the industry quite a bit. And what I did was I wanted to put together a few bullets on what, as a sales associate you should be focusing on. You can look up online There's tons of websites out there that have a lot of information about setting up a content marketing strategy. What I tried to do is kind of boil it down to some key points that I thought were important. So the first point is, when you're putting content together, what's the intent? In a true content strategy, the intent shouldn't be necessarily to sell more real estate. It should be to try to connect better with your key audiences. So if you're trying to connect with folks that are only selling, you have to think about, all right, what kind of strategy am I going to put together to connect with those folks? So the intent is, am I going to try to educate? Am I going to try to attract new prospects? What is the end goal? Next is, who is the audience? All right, so I mentioned sellers, but there's all different audiences that you may want to connect with. You may want to connect with, stay in contact with prospects. If you get a lot of referrals, certainly important. The next bullet is the type of content. So it's important to ask yourself, why am I putting this content together, and how is it going to be useful to the end user? And that's probably one of the golden nuggets that you should get out of this presentation is, you're just not putting content together to put content together. It has to be meaningful content that will be useful to that certain segment of audience that you're trying to attract. So once you understand that, the next step, what I would suggest, is sitting down and brainstorming and coming up with sort of an editorial calendar to help you organize the type of content that you're going to be producing. So, sit down with maybe some of your existing clients, some friends, and try to understand what type of content would be important to them. And just make a list, simply make a list, and then once you've made the list, sort of organize it in a way that would make sense to publish over time. Once you've done that, now it's time to get started. So it's really trying to understand, okay, how do I want to deliver this content? Do I want to write blog posts, do videos, use social media? Those are probably the three main channels. Pick one or two that you're very comfortable with and that you can do it on a consistent basis. That's a very important aspect to the whole strategy, is being able to deliver the content on a consistent basis. Once you've gotten started, then for the advanced folks out there, you can tie Google Analytics into your site and you can measure the results of the content. So you can simply go in and see which content is resonating the most. And once you have a good idea, then you can start building out content from that particular piece of content that would make sense, and let that drive the strategy moving forward. But measuring and being able to understand how content resonates is very important. Finally, I jotted down a few goals. Again, the whole intent for doing content is ultimately to grow your business. But the short-term wins are connecting with the audiences that you want to connect with. So publish truly relevant, consistent, and useful content. Incredibly important. I like to, when people ask me what type of content should I publish, a lot of times I say, write stuff that's going to educate your audience. Education always resonates. People always are online looking for educational type content. Avoid always pushing your products. I know it's tempting to do, it's easy to do. There's tools that you can connect your listings to Facebook and that sort of thing. But try to focus on stuff that's helping people and avoid. I'm not saying don't push your products or your listings, but just have a nice balance in that. And then finally, the ultimate goal is to build trust and authority. When you're seen as an authoritative figure in the industry, that's only going to help you connect with more people and sell more real estate.
Well, good deal. All good advice. It sounds like we're going to keep building on this in the future. So, all these things pertain to what we've gone over with how to set up blogs and how to do your blogging content. And we're going to keep elaborating on this in terms of how you can specifically apply it to social media and things like that also. So
content is interwoven through all the different online marketing channels. So it's a pretty important piece.
Yeah, this stuff fits absolutely everywhere with every kind of marketing you do. So As always, I mean, if you have any questions or anything like that on this or anything else, feel free to give us a call or send an email into support@deltagroup.com. We can help you out with either how to actually add this content onto the site, or if you need any more, suggestions or some more insight into exactly what kind of content you should be making. If you have any questions on this or anything else. So it was wonderful. Thank you for joining us this week. And this week I'd like you to remember one important thing: Cavs in 7. Thanks a lot for joining us this week. We'll see you next week.